Tonight on 8.5-bit, Arms, Dead Cells, and the Sexy Brutale. Welcome, friends of all designs, to episode 215 of 8.5-bit, which I'm sure is going to be the most Jeremy is very tired because we already recorded half this episode and realized I wasn't recording properly episode of them all. I'm your host, Paul.
Really halfway.
And joining... I was talking about arms a lot.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, through the show, I didn't said anything.
I'm your host, Paul, and joining me today are my good friends, James.
Hello.
And Sleepy Jeremy.
Hello.
And Jeremy has no voice, so we will not be allowing him to talk this episode.
Sorry. You know how, my brain fails me when I'm sick, but you know before I was saying how I was going to wear a hat? Like when I was looking...
they don't.
They don't. Anyway, little behind the scenes.
But, yeah.
Earlier, I was thinking of coming in wearing a hat just to, like, as a power play for James. But when I was looking for hats earlier, I found the ones we used for our Christmas episode.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just brought that. Yeah, I know, and it would have been perfect for my Sleepy Gary, Sleepy Jerry thing going.
That's your spirit animal.
Yeah, Sleepy Gary.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit how if Wonder Woman is actually good, that will destroy my worldview.
What else we talk about?
I don't know. Stuff. Whatever. It
all
doesn't matter. We're just going to jump towards video games.
That worldview, though, is like if Wonder Woman's good, it's upsetting that she's the greatest Amazon ever and not the old water park, right?
I never went to the Amazon's water park.
Oh, really?
I was a deprived child.
I went there once and on like the safest ride possible, which is like the gentle moving like tire ride. This one kind of had a bit of a descent. Some drunk guy was like, and his friends, they were trying to go down as fast as possible and literally went over the top of me. I was like 9 and I banged my head and just my chin split open. Yeah,
there's no scar there.
Although I'm jealous of people with bum chins. I feel like that's such a classic handsome person thing.
James and I can't tell.
Yeah.
You guys probably both have bum chins.
There's real chiseled under there.
Anyway, I split my chin and like the water...
We just got real hairy asses.
The water literally turned red as it was coming down the slide. My dad's waiting for me and he's just like, where's Jeremy? Why is the water orange?
So when you were at water parks, how worried were both of you about someone sticking razor blades to the
Terrified.
side with chewing gum as they went down?
The kid in front of me guaranteed me that there was a razor blade stuck.
There's always a razor blade on that slide.
In that slide.
I didn't know that they used chewing gum. I thought they just stuck them in the crevices.
No, they got
that'd be more difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to be realistic about this.
Okay,
Chewing gum holds the razor blade.
Okay, just stick to the left and you'll be fine. You won't get cut up. You'll be right.
Yeah.
But what if
everyone knows to stick to the left?
Yeah.
What if it was a left-handed delinquent? Because I imagine because the...
we only know which side because the guy that already got cut up.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. It's per slide. Okay, so we spent a lot of time berating James for not playing Arms this weekend.
So how's that Arms, Paul?
James takes 2 hours to shower, you guys. It's really problematic.
Sometimes.
He only had 6 opportunities to play it.
And each one I messed up.
And failed every single one.
Yeah.
So I played quite a lot of Arms. So Arms, new IP from Nintendo. Stuff we haven't even spoken about. It looks really pretty. I think it looks great.
Yeah. Now, you played a lot of it with the controller.
Oh, look at you trying to repeat the words you said last time.
I am. I'm trying. Because I thought that it was a insightful conversation.
It is.
About
we need to get back into that. So,
some poor sap out there thinks this show is scripted and now they're really sad for us.
God, I hate to write this script. Okay, so game starts, motion controls.
Yep.
They seem relatively intuitive. I play, half a dozen matches with it. It was fine when it was starting to get up into more than one-on-one. It became one thing I didn't know how to switch who I was targeting.
Hey, hold up. There are multi-person fights then, like 3v3.
It goes up. It can be 4. It can be 4-player maximum. It can be free for all or team.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And then there's other game modes.
Yeah.
So motion controls fine. You punch and you punch. It's quite responsive. You can twist and you'll do it, and you'll turn the gloves in or out when you're doing it. You block by crossing together, but you move sort of like Virtua On. Yep. If you're playing in the arcade where you've got 2 sticks, you've got to move them together, which works well in theory, but it just didn't feel that accurate
Oh, it works well when you're controlling a big robot and the joysticks which are attached to a base.
Yeah. If you could somehow get the 2 motion controls on the Switch and attach them to something, but then that would make it hard to punch.
Are the armed characters giant robots?
No, virtual on there. Giant robots.
yeah.
There is one robot character in ARMS though.
What were the characters? Because in the Test Punch,
there was an Elastic Man, Ribbon Girl, a ninja. I don't know all their names. Okay, there's this ninja guy. There's a ramen girl. There is a big robot lady. Well, it's more. She's got a robot and she's sitting inside it. There's a mummy, and there is a science blob. Let's call him Flubber. So we'll get back onto that in a second. So yeah, anyway, I switched to handheld controls because of basically movement, and I found them much better. And I found the SWAT character button as soon as I was there, and everything was more responsive, and I didn't feel I lost any control by going there. Being able to angle punches and everything was still just very simple.
so it's like you're locked onto one target and you're strafing around them.
Yes.
Can you unlock from them?
No. You can lock to a different target. But I was sort of thinking about this because I was thinking about if you had this game on the PC and you had mouse control and you could aim every punch. And then I realized that doesn't actually make sense for the way that the game is playing. But think about it like, well, most fighting games,
You're locked.
You're locked towards a character. If
Yeah.
you're playing Soul Calibur, you can't just go, oh, well, I'm going to throw my sword over that way. And it's like, no, you're facing them. But well, I suppose I ended up playing Ribbon Girl almost exclusively by the end because one of the things I failed to realize when it started is that every character has very specific abilities. They don't list them on the selection page. You have to go into the help menus and then they list them.
Like a fighting game.
Yeah,
you have to
classic
open
fighting
up
game.
you have the combo screen.
Yeah, but that's not in the game. You have to go out to the main menu and then go down and look through the pages.
Yeah.
And that's where you learn out how most of the game works. So if you don't read that, you might actually be at a loss. So Ribbon Girl can keep jumping in the air. She's got 5 air jumps.
Okay.
Which means you can be very aerial, and most people are used to people jumping up and landing. So the fact that you don't land sort of fucks them up. Also, she had an ability where if you do a dash, because you've got a jump and a dash in the game, if you dash while in the air, when you land, you'll have a charged up punch.
Okay.
Which normally is a button that you have to hold down for 2 seconds to charge up a punch. So it means that I can jump, land, heavy punch on someone, then be up in the air.
Is there any cooldown on that? Or that's just how she works?
That's just how she works. There's no cooldown other than the time it takes to do it. And by the end, I would say I beat 80 to 90% of my matches without them touching me.
Oh.
So I worked out.
So you're the person I rage quit against.
I worked out my strategy.
Yeah.
He's the jerk that read the manual.
Yeah. Well, see, with Ribbon Girl, I had one of my hands because each character you can choose what arms they have. So I chose one which was the squid arm, and another one which is like this party popper, which is kind of like my shotgun. If they're straight in front of me, and this is a good way. It's a good way of shutting down their arms coming towards me.
Are these arms shared across different fighters as well?
Yes, you unlock them. So by the default, every character has like 3 arms that are set to. But as you keep playing the game, you'll unlock more and more arms, and they throw up the number that there are 3,000 plus possible combinations of arms, which isn't necessarily that big of a number. But it does mean that they're
I'm just trying to do the maths on what that means.
Yeah, you can create a lot of different
Yeah.
builds. And that's sort of saying about Lockham before, when you're just using your normal fists, if you direct to either side when you punch, you'll throw a punch to the left or the right of the character. So if they're moving, score a hit. The tentacle arms don't do that. They basically hit exactly where they're standing, except left or right throws it as a curve around, which means if they're throwing punches towards you, you can stop them with the other hand and just throw around, and you'll hit them almost every time as long as they're not moving too much. And you just wait for like them landing from a jump or something like that.
I feel like there's going to be some dominant strategies that come out of this, where it's going to be, this is just the good combos.
Yes and no. What I see, because between rounds, you can change those arms. Like you set like these are going to be my arms for it, and then at the beginning of the round, you choose which of those arms you're going to pick. So there's actually
So you have a loadout.
Yeah, well, you sit there, especially one-on-one, and one-on-one is where I think the game is the best. You're facing each other. You can see what arms they're cycling through. So you can say, oh, they're choosing those. Now I'm going to switch to these arms. I'm going to choose my heavy arm, and I'm going to... So there's actually a strategic choice there.
Almost felt like it needs to be like a drafting phase. Well, it's like a pick band.
It kind of is. So like if you're a smart ass and you're like, oh, this is like my selection, and you just lock it in straight away, that other person's still got like 10 seconds to go, oh, you're doing that, huh? Well, I just happen to have these arms that totally fuck up that strategy, so Good luck me. So it was showing like there's quite a lot of depth there, and you can develop strategy. And
How hard are the different characters to use? Because then that seems to be like
They-
a never-endless cycle of just counterpicking.
well, the characters all control the same.
Okay.
But they all have abilities. So
Yeah.
so Ribbon Girl, she could jump multiple times and do
Yeah.
that dash. For the Mummy, for instance, if you hold down block, he will regenerate health.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he is very much a do not leave that character alone, or he'll just power back
Yeah.
up. The weird blob, the flubber, he doesn't actually jump. He stretches tall
And thin?
and when you dash, he actually shrinks instead of dashing. So you actually stretch, but his base body doesn't move. So you sort of like separate your body around.
Okay.
I couldn't actually work out what the benefit of that was. I still seem to get punched in the face a lot. But it's same controls, but just different abilities with it. So so the base body plus the selection of each of their left and right arms, huge amount of variety, and you're already starting to see people developing their strategies. Like the ninja guy can warp and stuff like that, and so it's really cool. Then the coolest thing about all of it, I think, is the way that the party lobby works.
That's what I'm most curious about.
So there's only one mode in the arms and in the test punch, and that was party.
Yep.
And you joined into a lobby, and I don't know what the maximum was. It seems sort of around 8 switches could join up, but that could include 2 people on the same switch. So I think maybe it's 16 player all up. I'm not sure about those numbers, but it seems about right for me. So the lobby was just like a screen, and everyone's little icon is there floating around. And there goes, you two, battle. You three over there, battle. You guys are going to have a volleyball match and that. And then everyone fights, and then as you finish your round, you go back to that screen and you can see who's still in a match and who's not. And while you can't watch the match, you can see how the match is going and how much time is left on it. And it just dynamically keeps matching up people in different modes. Very naturally, very little downtime, with just a little bit of time in between where you can change character.
Yeah.
Or do something like, so you might have 10, 15 seconds in between each round to just do that. And if for some reason it is like a small lobby and the other people are on a game and you're just waiting, you can just hit a button and immediately go into a training mode. Like, there's no loading or anything. It's just training.
Do they expect you to hang around through all of these matches, or you can have a couple then just bail out?
Oh, there's no ranking or ladder. It's just it's party. So
okay.
you just come and go as
Okay.
you please. People will drop in and drop out all the time.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because like, I remember one of the things that Halo used to do really well was its main online mode was just like, here's some random shit.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that because every now and then it's like you want to have rockets and fight. Like, I do want to just have rockets and fight. But just to kind of keep the mix-up going.
Yeah. So
This is sort of the first real fighting game that's got that level of opportunity to it, right? Because like even something like Smash Bros, the game is ostensibly the same.
I reckon
modes.
Smash Bros could go a long way copying a system like this for its online. Like sort of random modes from a big pool of players
Yeah.
and just get in there. I mean, like obviously people are going to want we're just going to play Final Destination, no items.
Fox only.
Fox only, yeah. But for everyone else that just wants to screw around and have fun, hey, it was a really fast and fresh and just kept throwing. I mentioned there's volleyball.
Yeah, so how's that one work?
It works by being the most shit thing I've played in a long time. It doesn't explain itself at all. So the first time I played it, like the ball starts
Following the noble history of other fighting game volleyball games, it's just the arms characters in bikinis and juggle physics.
That would be good. But I just like the ball's on my side. I'm like, okay, punch it. It just falls to the ground. I'm like, what? I just keep like. The other guy won like 5. I think it's first to 5-0 because I just couldn't even get it over the net. Then I like read a bit. It's like, so you hit it with both hands, then you can spike it with the other hand. I still couldn't work out any strategy or anything. It was sort of just like the people that won were the people that had played enough to know how to get the ball over the fucking net. So
Just like real volleyball.
I hear there is actually nuance to it,
Okay.
and that it's actually interesting, but it doesn't explain itself and is not interesting to someone that has not had that explained to them. Therefore, it is a bad party game because if you got volley, it's like, I've got these arms, I punch it over, right? If it doesn't work, then that person's just going to get annoyed and frustrated. Every other mode I really like though. So one-on-one, I thought this fight's are really good, really strategic. I actually really love 3.
3v3?
No, just
triple
3-person
threat.
free for all.
1v1.
Because when people start playing the game, they're very bad. Where 2 people will just face off against each other, and the other person just sits in the other corner, and waits for one of them to die, and the other person's basically dead, and then they walk over, punch them once, and they win. So what
That's actually how the good, the bad, and the ugly ended.
So while some people still feel that's what the game mode is, I ended up loving it, like really enjoying those matches because it became you go attack it, and then you'd stop and go, wait a second, truce on our battle. And it would be about managing.
Kind of that shifting alliances.
Where it's where you got to shift and like, okay, well, we can't let them get more powerful, but I'm still watching my guard on you, and so it's half teamwork,
just
half
punch like this, Paul.
you kind of do so. What I found would always happen in multi modes is that you grab someone by punching with both hands at once.
Yeah.
So what you get is someone would grab someone else, and then the next person would line up at the person that's grabbed the next person and grab them, and then the person that had already been thrown in the first throw had recovered. So you just get these cycles of grabbing,
like these daisy chains of grabs.
And sometimes they went on a few rounds, and they were pretty funny.
Are there taunts?
Not manual taunts that I noticed.
Terrible.
No. The presentation is fantastic. It's 60 frame, like perfect the whole time. Just some of like the freeze frames at the end when you shows like the final hit and then like your winner and everything. I just screen grabbed so many of them.
Did you chuck it on the TV? Or only
yes, I originally played it on the TV.
How'd it look on TV?
It looked great. Yeah, but it also looks fantastic in handheld mode. It's just
So when you played it in handheld mode, you used the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch.
Yes.
Did you use the Pro Controller at all?
No, when I was playing on the TV, I used just the
Joy-Cons,
the Joy-Cons, but in the cabinet.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
I didn't try it with the Pro. It'll be the same.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
There's no difference to the control at that point, but it felt really good in portable mode, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
Because I could see this being let's meet up with some switches and play some party mode of this and get around. Yeah, very positive about it at the moment. Just not sure. It really will depend on other people around me getting it if I get it.
You know, I'm a chump, so I'll buy it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You are a chump. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I'm the only person that did it and I'm the only person talking, perhaps we should move on.
Maybe. I played a tiny bit.
Well, you have previously played it. It's true. Okay. So, shall we quickly do a little bit of news?
Yeah, do a little bit.
Okay, let's see. Let's skip game announcements. Just if you're waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 and then Final Fantasy 7, I thought that this edition, mentioning Final Fantasy 7 was a little bit more obvious, but Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 are still 3 years or so away.
Well, how long was it?
How long is Kingdom Hearts 3 taking?
Well, how long was Final Fantasy 15 in development? Like 10 years, 12 years.
But that's a
Literally
different
10
K.
years.
That's the thing. Like, this has been we've seen stuff of Kingdom Hearts.
No,
Still, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy 7, I'm fine with that. That seems appropriate.
You're right. Now that you mention it's just Kingdom Hearts 3, part of me is like, this is only the third? Because 2 was out like so long ago.
Well, it's only the third like main number.
Yeah, that's
one.
right.
But
Yeah.
still-
What is Kingdom Hearts like 1.5 and 2.5?
Kingdom Hearts is a very confusing series.
The 1.5 and 2 and the 2.5 are like they're remasters with some extra content.
Okay.
And I think they might even include some of the side games with them.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because those have all
those
been,
not side games.
no, those aren't side games. No.
Jesus.
No.
Okay.
Those are when you got like the 33 and a third. That's right. I'm just going to naked
Yes,
count.
yeah.
Naked count because I can't think of the actual
I'm
number.
just thinking of the one Kingdom
Birthday,
Hearts.
I think it was
whatever.
like, was it like a 1.8? Like, did they ever...
I think that's again sort of a remaster collection thing. So
I was just thinking like the one Kingdom Hearts spin-off that didn't quite get the licensing rights. So it's like Square Enix characters going around with Ricky Rouse and Donald Muck.
that would be a bit better. Xbox
Shout out to
Xbox has launched its Game Pass that it talked about doing. 100 plus games that you can play anytime. The
I
games
think
as a service thing.
If you're alive, you get a trial for it, I believe.
Yes, 14-day trial. It's $11 a month. And for what you get, I mean, I would just recommend subscribing for the brief time you want to play some of those games and then unsubscribing because let's face it, you're not going to go back and play those older games for $11 worth every month. It's got Halo 5. That's their big call. I'm like, if you cared about Halo 5 and you have it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you have an Xbox One, you've got Halo 5.
Yeah. It just looked like a list of all the games they bought on
If you got
Xbox Live.
kids, that would be amazing.
I think these services are fantastic for kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Christmas holidays. Subscribe to this, you're set.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah,
Go,
The
like,
games
go
are all-
tiny children.
Are they all old games, or what's the deal with the game catalog? Like, are they
there's a
360 games
mixture.
and live games, or is those
Three-
current gen?
360 arcade full release titles.
okay,
As
that's
I said, like there's Halo 5 is the big one on there. There's also a few other like bigger games on there, but
Okay, that's good. I sometimes wonder if we overestimate the value of old games to children. If that makes sense. Because like
don't
every
know if
time
yeah.
I hear about like the NES Classic or the SNES Classic, it's always people like our age being like, I bought it for my kids. I thought it'd be a great idea. And it's like, bitch, no, your kids think Minecraft is a great idea.
I'm pretty sure the kids just want to play on the iPad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think I would not go for that kind of retro gaming with kids. But I think like 360 era is fine.
Yeah, probably.
They're
Actually,
different.
they kind of hold up. Still 360.
Oh, those kids are going to love Fusion Frenzy. Yeah, damn straight. Okay, so starting from now, if you buy a HTC Vive, you get Star Trek Bridge Crew.
I'm sold.
So still spend that 1.2 grand or whatever
Yeah.
on a HTC Vive.
And your $1.5 grand computer.
Yeah. That's a little underpowered.
So, speaking of now, a lot of people going to be part of the StarCraft Bridge Crew. Did I get that right?
I want to play StarCraft Bridge Crew. Thank you very much.
That would be good.
Just get to play in a battleship
So-
and watching like Marines die, and you're just like, oh, it's like 12 times
Well, 'cause
more expensive.
they have like
than you.
their Russian elite, don't they? Like that's their upper class in the StarCraft universe.
For some
They're
reason,
drinking their like
cognac
cognac, and watching the troops. Oh, I can't do a bad
Something like
Russian
that.
accent.
in the pipe.
Yeah.
But I mean-
I was so annoyed that wasn't in fucking the new Aliens.
They could have done. I was waiting for it
So
too.
Yeah.
did you start that with an actual comment before we got distracted?
I was just
No, I think
let me
it's
gather
I-
myself.
I think
no,
there's a
I was
lot-
gonna say like the thing that always startled me about Star Trek was how many people died off camera. Like every time they got hit with a torpedo and the whole bridge is just like, whoa, no, we're fine. They're like 9,000 casualties.
No, I mean,
So this is what you're signing up to for the
No,
HTC
you're on the
Vive.
bridge. You're fine.
Yeah, Bridge is well protected.
You don't want to be like the red shirt crew. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shitty one.
But I think this is a good strategy, mostly because this is a game that you need lots of people,
Yeah.
so you can multiplayer. And remember, it's cross-platform.
yeah, which is why.
So whilst everyone with the Oculus and PlayStation VR will have to buy the game, well, hey, at least you got that influx
Yeah.
of people in HTC Vive upping those numbers, giving us a little bit of Rocket League.
yeah, I know. I would very much like to give it a go.
I'd love to play it too.
Yeah.
Okay, PlayStation 3 has ended production in Japan. It is now done.
Ah,
So if you don't have a PlayStation 3 and you want one that's new and shiny, you can get it in the next couple of months because they're going to start getting a bit rare.
that's a good console.
Boop, and that's the end. Last thing that's not a game announcement, so we can do them later.
Yeah, I like my PlayStation 3 until the
There's
drive
stuff on
died.
it.
Good library.
Good. I mean, it's no PS2 like that thing.
Man, it's not
I think it was-
360, honestly.
There's no in television.
In television. Hey, gorgeous.
Oh, little toast.
Little lampy toast.
He's almost a few more days till he can get his lamp off. His fur's all knotted under his chin because it gets caught in the lamp.
Oh, yeah.
Got to trim him down. Anyway, okay, shall we talk about Dead Cells?
We should talk
Yes!
about Dead Cells.
So I'll talk about Dead Cells and you guys can listen. So now we are jumping on the bandwagon. Dead Cells is pretty prolific as
Yeah.
a well-regarded game at the moment, but it's still indie, and being the biggest indie in the world still means you're pretty small.
Yeah.
So Dead Cells is a new Metroidvania-inspired roguelike.
Which is in
Soulsian, Vania, Shantae, like Rogue.
I would. If some people drop the souls,
Headless.
I would say there is almost no souls in this game.
No, I think there's souls. The cells are souls.
Oh, I think.
But there's not even dropping them and retrieving them.
But she sells dead souls by the Dark Souls.
Something like that. But other than that, there's not really any dark souls
I
in
kind of-
there.
It can be
I watched-
punishing.
I watched-
You can get one shot by bosses.
That's not really dark souls.
I watched
That's
the
just
tells
hard.
in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the Souls like.
That's just games.
No, but I'm trying to. You got to have like your uninterruptible attacks, which you don't really have. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a pretty stretch to bother putting
I'm
that.
pretty-
It's got enough inspiration on its
I'm
sleeve
pretty
that we
sure-
don't need to put souls
I'm
in
pretty
there.
sure in their description they describe it as a Souls light.
No, it's a Rogue Legacy like.
Souls light.
No.
I don't know.
There's nothing in there.
I don't really care. It's a fun game.
It's a very
Yeah.
fun game.
Which
It's a fun game until it's not.
it's in early access, but unlike most
Which
early
blows
access,
my mind because it is
it's
quite polished.
pretty slick. It reminds me actually a lot of Darkest Dungeon, where that was in early access. But
I would say this is still more complete than Darkest Dungeon was when
yeah,
it
I'd
first started.
say.
Can I
it's
do the
further
game
along.
rundown? Given this, like, because my voice is going to die soon.
Go for it, man.
Basically, you're a but sorry, the dog's eating my head.
Well, that's your fault for giving it to him.
You're a ball of gloop that finds its way into a dead body.
I think you're some dead cells.
Yeah.
I get it now. You control a body with a fire head,
Decapitated body.
decapitated body,
Yep.
but with a fire head.
Yep.
So it's recapitated. You go around collecting items, upgrades, opening doors, smashing doors, killing enemies,
Mainly smashing doors.
buying doors to open, going through
Buying-
areas.
Oh, I guess you do.
Rushing
they're the
2
gold doors.
doors before they lock.
Oh yeah, that's so disappointing when you do that.
I had one I missed by like 7 seconds.
Oh, every time I've done it,
That's
it's
too
always
many seconds.
It's
Yeah.
been like, hey, here's the grade 1 infantry bow and like $30 of gold.
Man, you suck.
It's not worth it making those time doors.
So good. Okay, so it is very, very much in the vein of Rogue Legacy, but you could argue being far more successful at what it was attempting.
Yeah.
It is a linear level based game where you travel through levels. They're randomly generated out of chunks. The chunks feel, the more I've played, I keep seeing new variations. So even
Yeah.
though it's mostly repetitive parts, I still get surprised now and then.
Because I think, like, I don't really like Rogue Legacy that much. Like, to me, like, the level generation in Rogue Legacy
Wasn't interesting.
It wasn't interesting. It's very repetitive. It's like, okay, here's this chunk again, here's this chunk again. I've maybe put like a couple of hours into Dead Cells, and I don't get that feeling at all.
What I like is that each area in the game, the generation is based on the sort of the theme of what that area is. So the third area, the ramparts, you're up on the top of the castle. That's one of my I really love it as a design because that level can be really quite short if you just run across the
It
rooftops.
also can be really easy to fall down.
I've still never fallen down
Yeah, but
there.
I'm terrible
really?
at platformers.
I think the platforming is pretty clear in the game,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
you do get James moments.
First time I fell down was because I just expected a platform to be down there.
Oh well, if you haven't learned that, there, yes, you
I
fall
was
down
just
not expecting.
I was just incompetent.
But yeah, so that level's generated like it's a bunch of the top of the castle. That's fine. But as you're jumping on each tower, most towers you can go down, and some of them are really, really long and deep, and you can keep going and keep going at risk and reward. It's like, will I keep going? Will I see what's here? Maybe there's an alternate exit. Maybe there's some loot. Maybe there's just I can just get another souls because I'm going to use them to upgrade stuff. So not only is
souls.
that they are souls.
Cells.
Oh, cells.
Cells,
Oh, they are
yeah.
cells in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but okay. So not only is that like really cool that it's randomly generating, but in an actual context of having towers. But the smart thing they do is at the top of every one of these towers, and they do this whenever there's an area that the path splits. There's a teleporter.
Yeah.
And at
I
the end of that
actually
run,
don't think
there's
that
another teleporter.
The teleporters are necessarily always placed that well.
Yeah, they are every time, man.
I
As
think-
part of the generation, no, I would say 100%.
I've found teleporters that like I'll drop down like 3 levels with no obstacles or enemies. Mm-hmm. Or like maybe there'll be enemies, but I've cleared it out. So like to get back up, I just teleport, but I still have to retrack through like the spike obstacles and the swinging mace obstacles.
At least the ones that I've gone through, there's always been, if it's a dead end, there'll be some teleporter to get me back out.
I mean, they're all dead ends.
Oh,
Like,
I mean,
to an
there could be a
extent.
treasure down the bottom, or there could be an exit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Because you go down and you reach like a conclusion of that side path, instead of just trudging back up and going back through the obstacles or anything, there's always one at the top.
It feels-
and if you're coming sort of halfway up, because they do have halfway ones sometimes, because it's like that. You don't always want to get out there. It's So you might have, because sometimes the one at the top maybe is a few meters forward.
My favorite thing about the
Yeah,
teleporters.
before you go down, you should always touch a teleporter.
Oh yeah, but it's quite generous with the
Activation
lighting up.
range,
Yeah, it's really good. You're not gonna like accidentally not activate one
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you see it. My favorite part of the teleporter, because like you get to a point where you're quite proficient at getting through the first area. It's quite easy. So it's really good to farm gold and abilities and weapons, and so that makes it so much easier because like you can come to a cross path really early on. Say, all right, I'm going to go down, and that could lead you through the majority of the level. But instead, if you're going right, you're missing out on like
Yeah, it might be an
Reward.
extra item. Or just,
Yeah,
it might be
exactly.
nothing, but be able to go back easily, check out that other
Yeah.
path, and not just have to waste time running back through the level.
really good.
It respects your time.
Yeah, the pacing's really good.
Yeah. So other than that, the game is structured around collecting both gold, where you can buy things during a run, and buying cells. And at the end of each level, there's a merchant there, and you can bank. Well, you don't bank. You have to spend all of those cells before you can move on upgrades. So mainly unlocking and upgrading weapons, and then there are some passive abilities that you can upgrade over time, and all of that persists between runs. So you start the game with a very small subset of like, here's a couple of weapons I can get. That's good. And the more you play, the more variety you get, and it keeps surprising me with more and more variety.
This is where like I'm starting to like find the game is like faltering a little, because like you get to a point where you're like, okay, these are the items I like using together. Like there's a backstab knife that does,
which I've still never seen.
Guarantees you a critical if you stab someone from behind.
That's where I stab people most of the time anyway.
Yeah, because you've got the teleport, which automatically puts you behind and gives you 150% damage. So it's really good for combining abilities. And then even beyond that, you get like weapons that'll be like, and it does an extra 100% damage if someone's on fire. So you look out for a fire grenade and then you can work together. But like, I feel the upgrade tree almost punishes you to an extent, because suddenly to upgrade the big things that you want to make your future runs easier, so like your health flask and your ability to carry over gold through lives, you have to unlock other weapons and shields and bows and shit. And so you're oversaturated with these things.
But that's kind of the point. It's that it's like, if you have to keep unlocking things to upgrade other things further, so that there's more variety, so that you can't just be doing the same run over and over again. You're forced to do other new things.
Yeah, but that kind of robs you of a lot of progression that you're working towards.
But that's a roguelike.
I know it's a roguelike, but like
that's
not like
the genre.
It's not like, so like, my favorite roguelike is FTL, right?
Yeah.
Fast and Light. So like once you get to the point of unlocking a new ship, like whatever ship it is, like you could use that ship from then on to like just play the game you wanted to play. Upgrade, take the right upgrade paths, and it was a reward.
That's still pretty broad. I mean, Faster Than Light still has a lot of just RNG.
Oh yeah, but you can still it was still controlled, and it was easier to specify. Like with Faster Than Light, I never used drones. Drones sucked. I always went weapons and stealth and shields. Max those out and you're good. And this one, I started to find it frustrating because, like, even though the teleporters are generous, even though the platforming and the levels are fun to go through, I still got to the point where I'd like come to a boss and I just would be so ill-equipped, and it didn't feel like I was ill-equipped in a good, spontaneous way. It felt like the RNG just ran against me. And the more you unlock, because you have to unlock, as you said. You have to spend those souls. Like the harder it is
I see what you're saying.
Maintain those things.
The more options you're able to unlock, the harder it is to get the strategy you like the most.
Exactly. And then because after unlocking items, then you start upgrading items. And that becomes kind of worthless if you can't find those daggers, because you have like 9 other swords that might drop.
I know you're pointing out the best thing of the game to me. So.
Well, I've played this a lot, a lot, because I've been sick and just went zombie
because
mode.
I remember, like, when I was playing it, and I kind of saw, like, if I want to get this particular thing, I need to go unlock this many things to get there.
Yeah, are we talking about the random melee item drop? That's the first one you really got to focus on.
Yeah, but there's like the things which are gated by you have to unlock X things before unlocking. And I sort of looked at it and went, okay, I can kind of see why you did it.
Yeah.
Whether or not I agree with that decision or I prefer it, it's sort of neither here nor there. It's more like, okay, this is what you're doing to kind of get people to...
Hey, you still don't have to. If you really wanted to just unlock like 3 things and then just upgrade those 3 things, you could just do that. It would be a very boring game.
Because...
You wouldn't be able to get extra flasks and stuff.
My biggest problem was the way they gated the flasks and the coin carryover, because like when I saw them, those were the best options.
See, I almost never pay attention to the coins. It's like I can always afford what I want, basically. There's so much money in the
coins
game.
are really good because you can get the amulet that gives you the second life.
Yeah.
Because that shows up in the first act and it's $3,000.
Yeah, I normally have like $3,000 in the first act.
In the first level?
Yeah, generally.
Oh, that's crazy.
I only have the first coin keep, which is like 25%.
Yeah.
Are you very good at spotting runes? Spot those runes.
I'm getting there, but I use the whip a lot, which will find it for you automatically. Like the one thing that's great is the weapons are all fun in their own unique ways.
See, and even when you say like you unlock things, but then on top of the unlock, then there's also random roguelike style bonuses to all those things. So for one instance, I had daggers that were doing about 800 damage per hit, which fucking just slaughters everything in one hit pretty much. That was just random.
Yeah.
Like normally the daggers only do like a fifth of that, if that. I'm like, oh, okay, well this is good. Never found those daggers again.
Yeah.
Really wish I could.
That's the roguelike.
Great.
Are you sure? Because like I've found the same item multiple times, and it'll be the exact same stats, particularly the first level stuff.
I think you're lucky.
Yeah, it just sounds like you've just lucked out something random there because they're pretty random, like poison damage, explosive when they die. There's always like weird little bonuses.
Oh yeah,
on top of things.
okay. So those kick in like with the weapon upgrades because there's version numbers. Like the weapons, you guys notice that, right?
Yeah.
Twin daggers 1, 2, 3. Those kick in at level 2, but I'm pretty sure the base stats are consistent.
Well, potentially the base stats, but yeah, I'm talking about the actual bonuses on them.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is a very roguelike thing.
Yeah, the bonuses are fun, but like it's a level of RNG that like, and like I mean I've enjoyed the heck out of this game. I really like it, but like it's one of those RNG things where like I'll get a sword and I'm like, oh man, this would be great because it does like it'll be like the backstab dagger that does an extra 100% damage on flaming targets. I'm like, oh, if I could get the firebomb, that would be great. But it just won't happen. Like you'd need extraordinary luck. And even the stores in the game that you come across, I think are maybe too limited. One thing I'd like is if the store inventory expanded, the more things you unlocked. Because I feel like that would be a reward for playing it more.
It feels, to me, you get more choice than you would in like a game like Binding of Isaac, which is fucking phenomenal in its stuff because it's just sort of like this is what you get and you do not fucking complain.
So
in this you can still make choices.
I think for me, because as someone who doesn't like Binding of Isaac, don't like Rogue Legacy, don't like FTL, I actually
Really?
don't like roguelikes that much.
That's fair enough.
The way I play this game is I just accept that it's a complete roll of the die, what's going to happen. But the platforming is so solid.
it's so tight.
That I just enjoy playing it, even if I get like
It's
a
funny,
dodgy
yeah, we've
run.
been talking about it so much as a roguelike, but it is a fucking amazing
As a platformer.
Metroidvania.
Well, as a platformer, it's good. And I think that where I feel I get my progression is that I'm learning that I can, this is how I counter this attack. This is how I get. It's a bit. This is probably
That
where I
is
say-
actually where it gets Dark
And this
Souls.
and this is where I say where it's more Souls-like. That I feel like my progression is sort of about learning the tells, learning how to counter, and learning to fight it. And I feel like I can get better. And so I think you're right in that the randomness is something which kind of gets a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, yeah, by its nature. But it's unreliable, the randomness.
Yeah. But the barking dog's completely boring. But video games.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
you learn mechanics
I'm
and
gonna
ways
close
to
that
deal
door.
with things.
What, you think that's gonna like you're not gonna hear it anymore?
Muffle it a tiny bit.
You didn't even shut it. He's just gonna push that door straight open. He's gonna go, why did that door get half
he's going
shut?
to.
He's gonna come over. He's gonna push his little lamp head in. He's gonna say, what's wrong with you? Okay, so Dead Cells is a very good game.
Yes.
It's continued development, and I'm very excited to see what changes.
Yeah.
I don't see what could change too much.
I expect
for a
just
finished product.
content. There's a few things that just very basic things that are kind of bugs and kind of features. There's the red the red zombies that throw the grenades at you. If you parry them, they go back, but they do no damage. The next update, they will do damage to the
didn't know
zombies.
you could
really?
see that.
Yes,
I think they do damage to non-red zombies.
might do, but
Yeah,
they're supposed to hurt the zombies as well. But they
Yeah,
don't.
and like the purple shield zombie, even if you teleport behind it, it's still got like a hitbox that can hit you with charge somehow.
Maybe I don't know.
And it the version I played didn't have the stat keeper guy.
Yeah, that's
right at
that's
the
to
start,
come. Yeah. It literally just says they're coming soon.
I would say that as someone who's a bit of a layman with these kind of roguelikes, the most of the conversation between you two guys have been about very technical things and very nuanced things
It's
about
just
the
fun to
game.
play.
Yeah, it is so fun to play.
So it says to me that's like the level of depth that's in there. But to me, as someone who I will play it for 15, 20 minutes and quit, like I still find that experience satisfying.
Oh my
See, I
God,
play for
no.
15, 20 minutes and quit, and I go, like, done. No, I'm just
No, I'm like,
I load it up again, and I go.
Yeah.
I put hours
Yeah.
into this
Like,
game.
I think
Yeah.
it's a very casually accessible game.
Yes, unless you get
I
obsessed.
unlocked all four.
But you can still be obsessed.
I unlocked all 4 flasks and 3 of the money crossovers.
So I think I did the first 2 class and one of the money things, and then I'm like, I'm fine. I never die because of the flask. I die because someone's fucked me up, and I die in like 1 or 2 hits, and I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's a game where I suppose, and if you want to do a Souls-like in difficulty, you could say where any enemy, if you just didn't respect them, is capable of killing you very quickly.
Oh yeah.
But they're still not hard to
Particularly
fight.
if you take on like 3 enemies at once without thinking.
The freaking flying things in Ramparts, they're just like not the standard bats, the big,
The ones that like they slash at
the
you, they
slash
do quite
ones,
a lot of
yeah.
damage.
When they come in huge hordes, and I had no way of fighting them, and now I've got like the Magna Grenade.
Oh,
and I'm
Magna Grenade's so good.
And all I do is just watch them all die now. It's great. I just had to get that one.
Yeah.
Well, and now I have a few other items. I learned different techniques, but yeah.
Some of the abilities in this game are so fucking fun
Yeah,
though.
and it gives you that sort of thing where sometimes you'll see that situation and you go, my build can't deal with that, and you just leave.
Yeah.
You just go a different direction.
I feel like because if I can do a run to the end point where I can spend my cells,
Yeah.
I still feel like I've gained something.
Oh yeah, and so many times I've found like because they'll have alternate exits,
Yeah.
and they'll be quite early in the level, and I'll have a bunch of blueprints because you collect blueprints and you hand them in at the end of the level, and that adds to your potential what you can unlock. And I'll go, oh, I could just leave now, but get more cells and more gear, and then I die going to the other exit. I'm like, why didn't I take the first exit? Even if I died in the next zone, I still would have banked all of that stuff I had. So, oh well, Paul's an idiot. But anyway, so Dead Cells, super impressive,
Yeah.
and I recommend it even in early access.
For the price point, I think it's like 15, 16 US or something
Something
at the
like that,
moment.
yeah.
Like, it's super slick.
I literally just spent trading card money.
Yeah. Oh, damn
It,
colors. The color, it has nice colors, that game.
It's a good looking game. It's
nice
good looking
colours.
game.
Also, it nails. Like, I can't believe you only play it for 15, 20 minutes.
At a time.
It nails the one more round. feeling
Yeah,
of
but for me,
gameplay.
I don't get that with roguelikes.
Oh,
I
that's
play
crazy.
once and I move on. But it does, like, even this conversation now has me thinking about,
I'm going to try that.
oh yeah, I'll just give that a go. I'll just play it a bit.
Yeah, give it a little more ball.
There are so
I've been
many
playing with the lightning ability.
Yeah.
I just like to pretend I'm Emperor Palpatine. Do you know about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis? Man, you guys following prequel memes?
No.
Oh, it's the best. Anyway, we should move on. Okay, so
worst games.
let's do some game reveals we've seen this week, or at least some information on games. So there is a Kickstarter for a game called Blasphemous.
Blasphemous.
It is actually not too it's not like Dead Cells, but you can fit it in the same area. Well, a bit Metroidvania-y, 2D platformer with pixel art that's quite similar, but the art's more inspired by like medieval paintings. It's by the team that did The Last Door, which was sort of a pixel art horror game, which was pretty decent. This game at the moment, I love the character designs so much. I think my favorite might be this. I'm not sure if she's an angel, but she's a woman that's like attached to a stone statue, like with statue wings and everything. So she's walking around dragging the stone statue behind her where she's like crucified on it and whacking people with that. and like in the main character is sort of like uncool. He's got a big like metal dunce's hat on, but like it's a very sort of weird medieval outfit and everything. Like very cool, very like hardcore and everything. Beautiful animation, beautiful setting. Other than that, it kind of just looks like a good action platformer. It's not a roguelike or anything. It's just here's some levels. Here's play a hopefully fun game.
Yeah.
It looks really pretty, which is mainly why I bring it up. Did you guys actually know it?
Yeah, sorry.
completely new to me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Looks
Anything really to add other than it looks pretty?
apart from not quite my art style, but okay. That's not really any. It's just completely subjective. Like that's nothing.
The character
nothing.
design's a little bit Dark Soulsy.
Yeah, a little bit Dark Souls. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, we've had a reveal of Monster Hunter Cross for Switch,
I like to call it.
which is exciting. It's the first Monster Hunter game on the Switch, and we're going to see more. It is just a port of the 3DS version.
I believe you can crossplay with.
You can crossplay.
Yeah.
Not only is it crossplay, it's cross save.
Oh, that's cool.
You can
that's
you can
nice.
play on one and transfer the
Which
save back to the other.
I think they're pretty sure they did with the Wii U version as well.
That's really good.
Wait, is there a Wii U version?
of cross, not that I'm aware
No,
of.
I thought there was some other one where you could transfer the save between two versions. Might have been a
Generations
Wii.
or
Yeah, might have been
something? Not
Wii
sure.
or something. Anyway, whatever.
It's good that they finally added like some portability to the 3DS.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, like some people were complaining that it's not a visual upgrade, and I'm like, well, I mean, with a 3DS, you see the fucking individual pixels. The art style is quite nice. It's like, well, I can just see the art style clearly now in a much larger, like, I thought it looked quite nice. I don't know if it's going to be the game that can turn me onto Monster Hunter, but I was kind of excited to see it on the Switch.
I enjoyed Monster Hunter well enough. Playing it looking a bit pretty. The biggest problem I have playing it on the 3DS is it is not a particularly good console to play third-person action games on.
Now you got two
analog sticks. Yeah, I don't have to use a little nub thing for analog stick. I can just use a real analog stick.
Yeah.
So the most exciting game reveal of the week.
Golf something.
Golf Story!
Golf Story, that's it. What was the DS game? Was it?
It was GBA, wasn't it?
I think it's a GBA game, a golf game. Was
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
was
it's
it the
just
Mario?
Mario
It was
RPG.
this Mario Golf RPG or whatever it was.
Which is one of the best fucking games ever.
One of the best golf games, one of the best RPGs ever.
It's freaking amazing.
These things combined into
It's
this.
a GRPG.
It's a JRPG.
Yeah.
A GJRPG.
A GJRPG.
And then when they did the next like portable Mario Golf, and it was just like a golf game.
Yeah,
we were like, what the fuck?
Where's my quest?
Yeah, where's my RPG? This is the. There was some article where it was like, finally the RPG golf game you'd be waiting for, and the first comment before everyone else swarmed on it was, who the fuck wanted that? The answer is everyone that's ever played a game like this, because it's amazing. And this one looks fantastic. It's on the Switch, and I went to check to see if it was on anything else. It looks like it's exclusively on the Switch for the time being. Basically, give it the art style of like Stardew Valley, except it's a big multi-zoned open world
Golf game.
you interact by playing golf.
It's how you do things in the world.
It looks great.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic.
This is a day one purchase,
Yeah.
and I will play it for 200 hours.
It's my goatee.
I actually am quite excited about it. We finally actually saw. I'm going to come back to that because there's more to talk about it. A game that was just revealed today called Last Days of June.
Okay, I didn't see this one.
So this is a game being made by Massimo Guarini. That seems like a bad pronunciation of that because I'm pretty sure he's Japanese, and that doesn't seem like a Japanese pronunciation. Anyway, he was the director of Shadows of the Damned.
Okay.
And last game he made was Marasukai Baby on the Vita. I think they might have had a PS4 port as well. That was more of a little puzzle game. So this game is kind of interesting looking. It's very stylized, sort of like big-headed, no-faced characters, and it's just you and your girlfriend, and you're like spending a day together. And from the rundown, there's not a lot of the gameplay yet.
And it's a Souls-like.
No, not in any way whatsoever. It's like you're going.
Sorry,
to
I'm just thinking about how do you have a relationship Souls-like now?
you're going out on a date to your favorite place, and June, your partner, dies.
Oh,
So the game is about in some way, we don't know yet. I can make up ways, but I don't know for sure. Reliving that day and how you can change it to survive it.
okay.
But it's also it's a game based on the music of Steven Wilson, who is the guy who started the band Porcupine Tree. And it's actually based on the music video of one of his songs, Drive Home or something.
Okay, there's a lot of steps.
Can you give
There's
us
a lot
a
of
few
hits.
bars here?
And
I'm
the
so lost.
animator is the guy who animated Frankenweenie.
Okay.
So here is like prog rock music heritage, strange video game heritage, and really unique animation history all coming together for a strange project that I don't know what is.
For a game for Paul.
Yeah, very much a game for Paul. Which look, it might have time loops, which makes it a game for Paul. Which I have another game to talk about later today, which is all about time loops.
I just like this idea that, like, all right, we need to figure out the demographic for this game. Let's go like random Facebook person. Let's look. What does he like? Okay, prog rock, and he likes this. Yeah, we can make a game for this guy.
I just imagine it's like all this Venn diagram, and in the middle there's just Paul. There we go. It's also underwater, and
And it's about scale.
and there's a lot of bondage porn in it.
In marketing, they teach you to deal with target demographics
Yeah.
like this, and it's part of a presentation when you develop a product. And they'll do things. They'll like have like an interest wheel, and they'll have like a day in the life, and it'll be like, our customer wakes up at this time and eats this for breakfast, blah blah blah. And imagine this one is them just presenting Paul's Facebook page in all these manners, and the investor's
It's
just like,
just pictures of my dog.
who the fuck is this person? This person doesn't fucking exist. No one is gonna. No, if one person buys this product, I will fund your next one in full.
I'm gonna buy it. Be good. Well, actually, I don't know.
Can we track
Gonna
back
see
to
more.
your like Soulsian dating sim? Like it's a dating sim, but you play the girl, and so like you go through the whole thing, and you're just like, man, I got to the first guy I can date, but he came in one move,
Oh no.
so I have to go back to the start, and just hope that we can get. The game is called Dark Simultaneous Ejaculation.
Simultaneous? Who else was there?
Mutual orgasm.
Okay, so next up, there was Lost Sphear. But Sphear's spelt weird.
Sphere.
Yeah. It's like
Lost.
fear, but with an SPH at the
I hate it. I
beginning.
immediately hate that game
Why?
because it's not how you spell sphere or fear.
But you liked the
Yeah.
previous game.
What's the previous one?
I Am Setsuna.
Oh, that's okay.
I was
So-
also going to say that's not how you spell atmosphere, and that's everyone's goatee of every year.
That if that was Atmo Sphere, then I'd be in.
So we weren't sure whether
Yeah.
or not what did the group that made Setsuna called? It was like RPG Factory or
Yeah,
something.
something
Anyway,
like that.
they were a group put together by Square Enix to sort of make classic RPGs, and I Am Setsuna did not do well. And where we were thinking, well, is there a future? They revealed a new game, and it is very much in the same style. With
That was kind of the problem.
no, style is in like being Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
So it's based on a world which is slowly disappearing, but you're revealing it again. And guess what? There's more than one location.
Okay.
There's lots of locations
And
with
is
different,
it-
and some of them have colors.
Is there levity?
I don't know. That's the one
that's
thing.
the missing bit.
It's like, just show me a funny scene
Yeah.
with a fun character, and I will feel a lot more positive about
that's
this. You've
the-
got a weirdly spelt name, and that's not enough. It's like,
I could have dealt with I Am Setsuna. I could have dealt with the one area if it had those moments of
there's a bit of
a little
bit of
fun,
personality,
a little bit
other
of-
than like, aren't we all to die soon?
or you're in a
Yes.
quest so you can die, and that's gonna.
I can't wait to die, but I must.
Fucking first like option in I Am Setsuna is like you come across a set of tracks. Do you go across the tracks
Or do you
or
lie
down the tracks?
No. I don't like the other connotation. Let's move on. And the other game.
about cutting your
so
wrists,
El
James.
Shaddai, the game that we all love for people called Paul.
There's an investor mumbling, someone be like, I can't believe I have to fund another one of these fucking projects because this guy.
Guess what? I couldn't even buy it. I
tried
tried
in Australia.
Either way, it's hard to find if it did. I tried to buy it on 360 and I had to buy it internationally, which I used to do with live games all the time. But turns out for box games, they're actually different. And no, you can't import it on digital. So I was just fucked. And I put all that money in my US account. And I'm like, oh, can't buy El Shaddai. Anyway, El Shaddai, based on Christian mythology, Japanese take on it. There's a bit of a meme factory in Japan because they had El Shaddai jeans and stuff. Didn't do well. But the director was teasing us.
What's he going to do now?
Oh, we're going to do a thing. It's another game in the El Shaddai series.
Yeah, it's still sticking with Christianity.
It's called The Lost Child. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same series. It's
Is it just called the
continuation.
New Testament?
It's for Vita, and it's a
it's for Vita.
It's a visual novel.
You mean the Vita 2?
No, it's for, I think it might be on PlayStation as well, but it's just a visual novel. I'm like, that's what I want. I don't want to play that.
You want your action Christian?
I want crazy action, Christian
lore.
value. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be wearing Christian jeans and magic underpants. I mean, that's Mormon, but you know, it's still pretty good.
Subset of.
Yeah. Anyway, so the other game we skipped over was that we saw Far Cry 5 revealed.
Yeah.
And as we knew, it's based in Montana.
I actually didn't realize it was modern times. I forgot that Far Cry was always modern.
yeah, it is, yeah.
Well, other than Primal.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Yeah, true.
Twist,
main
that
series.
was
It's based in Montana, but unlike the projection that we thought it might have been about cowboys, it is about cults.
Yeah.
In southern USA, in remote areas. And I don't know how that's going to play out because being in a modern world, it's a lot of problems with the rest of the modern world existing. From what I'm told, though, there are big areas of the States where cell phone coverage doesn't even exist. So let's say that, and let's say planes have very small fuel tanks. Very small fuel tanks. Because I assume you'll still get in a plane.
I think that it's the tone and the setting of this thing definitely hits home more than I have like with some of the other Far Cry.
Like they'll do like one of those things where like the opening is like a bunch of news segments, and like the first one would be like Uber banned in Montana. Just like cut that right away.
You're saying?
I was saying,
you thought of train?
I'll do it again. It wasn't even dog barking this
saying-
time.
no, maybe it's just
I
you.
think because like I've played.
It's nice that me and Toast contribute the same to the
thank
show.
you. Because I enjoyed 3 and enjoyed 4, even though they kind of felt like the same thing. So I'm glad.
3.5.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad this one's kind of thematically gone a bit different. But I think having a much more relatable setting, I know it does it has more kind of emotional impact on me.
I think it has more of a challenge for them as well.
Oh, it will.
Because whilst you can, I mean, like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stereotypes. Let's just get that out of the way. But people still want some nuance of stereotypes when it's someone they actually know. When they can just say, "Oh, you're another. You're an islander out there. They don't even buy video games in this mystical island we made up," and you can fall into a whole bunch of like terrible sort of racial cliches and everything. Even though I don't think Far Cry was terrible at that, but still wasn't the most nuanced game in the world. People are a little bit less accepting when it's just like what they're more used to.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they go. With
which is why I really like this direction.
I played a bit of Far Cry 3, and I don't remember coming across that too much, but maybe I wasn't.
As I say, I don't think it's terribly done, but it also could be better.
Fair enough.
And I kind of either way, I'm happy with this. If they do it kind of a bit shit, it might just make people a bit more aware of that. And if they do it well, the girls write us. That's cool. I'm very interested to see what they do because I feel like this won't be Far Cry 4.5. I feel like it has to make some pretty big changes to be in its setting, and that'd be, like a cult that's taking over a local town, and like, how is that going to manifest as gameplay? It's not a militarized zone.
Am I going to climb to the top of a radio tower?
Yes, that's not debatable. Anyway, and then the other thing that the reason we put this last one so we can talk about
left his scripture at the top of that telephone tower.
So there was a hilarious petition put up on change.org about how they should cancel Far Cry 5 because it's so offensive to American Christians. Now, if you read it and you're an adult person, you would realize it was a joke.
See, I will actually say that we live in a world where it is perfectly reasonable for someone to read that thing.
Oh, yes. There's still people that read it.
Yeah, and then think that it's legit. And
let's be honest, had it read to them.
I would say probably most of it could kind of pass relatively early on. They go like, and the way that women judge us because of our hobby is part of the liberal media. It's like, yeah, this is going for some real serious hits here. Also, the fact that half of its suggestions would immediately be against the previous suggestion to it.
I think you're giving too much credit for the kind of stuff that gets written about this.
No, because it was relatively well written. It was a well written joke. It was like there was a punchline, but the majority of reporting on it was, look at these idiots that want to ban Far Cry. It's like, no, it's a joke. Did you get jokes? Apparently not.
You guys know I'm an NBA fan. I read NBA forums and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I saw one, and it was a post. And again, this isn't me saying this is someone else, and it may be brilliant satire. But it was, is the key to being successful in the NBA being a half-breed? Having a white mother and a black father. And everyone,
why are we talking about this?
Everyone, because it's one of those situations, and everyone got angry at him, being like, how can you say that? That's not an okay thing to say.
What was it, a joke? That doesn't sound like a joke.
And I'm like, oh, that's just a joke. Wait, was he trying to piss people off using half-breed?
Oh, like, was he being a troll or not?
Yeah, exactly. So, like,
trolling's different to joking.
There's a grey area. So like,
I've drawn a Venn diagram here of the NBA and me.
Yeah,
and you can
Paul,
see.
I should warn you. I should warn you that I'm not okay with circular things. I have a phobia of them. It's called a sphere.
That was actually pretty good.
That's good, man. Well done.
Okay.
I thought of it. I'm like, that's never going to come up.
Yes. Whilst there are probably some people that agree with it because they're weird, no, they're not going to cancel. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft wrote it.
Now we're going down the rabbit hole.
Hey, Ubisoft has done some weird things with marketing before.
Yeah, like when they released like those 2 full-blown sequels to Assassin's Creed Pirate Flag, and they weren't about pirates.
What a troll.
So let's do some hot takes. Okay. James, you finished up The Surge.
Yeah, so my hot take on The Surge is it is a good enough game for me to spend 30 hours and actually finish.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
30 hours seems worth it.
Yeah.
30 hours seems quite short for a Souls game, isn't it?
Not for what it's trying to be.
Souls
I think most people finish at about 25, I think.
Okay.
So I took a bit longer. But yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it.
That's great.
Okay. Just before the show, we all were having another round of Dynasty Feud, which is... you should have shut that door properly, but you didn't, James. Which is a multiplayer brawling game, sort of in the vein of Towerfall, but with one major twist, which is that you choose a family to play, a dynasty, as you were, and as each character dies, you play another character in the family, and each character... has a completely different set of abilities. So if you're playing like the cowboys / rednecks, you might one that shoots a rifle, one that throws dynamite.
I felt like
all that
that
sort
there
of
was
thing.
some poor optimization. Like the Manson family was so much stronger than the Partridge family. I just want to point out, James, that the dog understands doors better than you do.
He does.
You're like, I'm just gonna lean this against the wall, and hopefully that means close. And the dog's just like, that doesn't mean close.
But remember last time we closed it completely, he just rammed against it until he hurt himself. So
That was some of my thinking.
he's not the world's smartest dog sometimes.
But smarter than James.
Smarter than James, it's true.
Duck Dynasty.
You've only had a little bit. I spent a little bit more time with it than you guys did.
I think I am fairly have been playing both Dead Cells, and I have to. And
The platforming is nowhere near as tight as Dead
and
Cells.
I have to make comparisons also to Towerfall.
Towerfall, yes, which
and-
is one of the top in the genre.
Which is, and in comparison to the platforming in those, it doesn't feel as tight as the
No.
yeah, and so I think
I didn't live long enough to make it to an edge of a platform.
While I think it does have some clever ideas in it, I think that
Yeah.
it, like I enjoy that get different abilities and things like that.
The core rotating family members part is good.
Yeah, the problem you're going to have is I could also be playing Towerfall.
I would really like the idea to, because it's sort of there was like a Soul Calibur, I can't remember which one mode was the sort of team battle where you go through
Like
and you
tagging in out or something like that.
I'd really like some games where it's just like, oh, you know what? No. It's 5 round and you select like the family beforehand. I reckon that mode could work well in a lot of brawling games. It'd be because and what I like about this, when you're on the character selection screen, it shows all the members of the family and then like what it's like. This is a projectile, this is a melee, and everything. And so it's sort of like there's a forced balance on each thing. Whether or not I haven't played it anywhere near enough to do it, because one problem is I tried to play it online, and it's a very small indie multiplayer game, which means I matched with one person, and that person had walked away from their computer. So I won.
Yeah.
That was good. I won pretty well. And other than that, I've had no luck getting a match with it, which isn't the game's fault, but is a problem of multiplayer games. So if you are someone that like us does like multiplayer nights, I'm going to pull it out the next night. or two.
Yeah. I think in a rotation, it's fine.
Yeah. It's not a. People would not rock up to play that game. But if I said, okay, we're done with Gang Beasts, now we're doing Dynasty Feud,
Like,
people would say, what the fuck
I'd
is
say
that?
I prefer. I prefer.
People would also say, can't we play genital jousting again?
Oh my God, there's an update. We'll go to that later.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I prefer it to Gang Beasts. I don't really like Gang Beasts that much.
What?
Yeah.
I will say the advantage, like, Towerfall has gotten to the point where some people are just too good at it.
Well, I'm
like,
thinking like
a new version.
I
would
like
actually,
Duck Game. Duck Game's
Games?
fun.
Oh, yeah.
That game still hasn't grabbed me. I thought I would love
Yeah.
it, but it didn't
No,
grab
I
me.
enjoyed Duck
I think
Game.
it's in the new Humble Bundle, right?
It is.
Yeah.
The new Humble Bundle is actually fantastic.
The Adult
It's
Swim
Adult
one.
Swim, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If I didn't own everything, I would buy it.
Yeah.
So, Dynasty Feud.
What's
Dynasty
what else
Feud
on my
is
hot
what
take
it's
list?
Yeah, thoughts. I'll call them out.
right,
Pull them
okay,
out. I was giving it a little bit of extra time.
Okay.
Mainly because the promoter really wanted us to talk about it. And I'm like, yeah it's good. But you just need that community to it. Okay, James, why were you playing Loderunner?
Oh, because there's a mobile version of it.
Oh, good. Does it control well?
It does control well. It also looks really slick. Like they've got some really nice visuals. The character has some really big hair. I think it's free. I'm pretty sure it's free to go grab. I really enjoyed Loderunner as a kid. Puzzle platformer. Gotta dig through the ground, get all the keys, whatever, get to the exit. Good version of it.
I played Fear Effect Sedna, the demo,
Okay,
How do
was
they
that?
spell fear?
with the correct way. It's a sequel to Fear Effect.
P-H-E-E-R.
Fear Effect 2. This was a Kickstarter game where they took Fear Effect, which was kind of like a Resident Evil-like, and turned it into sort of a isometric tactical game.
How did they go?
It is awful. It is. I'm like, why would you release this demo? You have.
Sorry, is the demo bad or was the game bad?
I don't know. Overall, the demo was very bad. It makes me
Yeah.
think the game is very bad. Mainly because you have direct control over the
Well,
character.
that wasn't how Prey worked.
Yeah, that was different. And I some play Cray, so I can't say that's true. I just feel that that's true. But basically, it's like 2D art, 3D characters running around. You can take cover and shoot at things. The cover and when someone's out of it and line of sight and everything doesn't work. At which point I'm like, why did you release this?
Yeah.
It feel like that guy's crouched. I have a direct line of sight to him though, and he's still not taking hits. And it's real time, but you control multiple characters at once, and you can sort of pause it and give them instructions, but there's a limit of the amount of instructions you can give them, but it's not like time based, it's just action based. None of it made any sense.
Okay.
I was like,
sounds like a bad demo.
yeah, really, really, really bad. Dude, it's not going to get anyone to want that game, I wouldn't think.
So I just wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to this week's sponsors, Glucogel Jelly Beans.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, James, you've finally been playing some Horizon Zero Dawn. As you
Zero Dawn.
Was that on purpose?
No, I saw the mistake, but I left it there because I thought it was good.
Good.
So I've completed the first starting area. I've gotten out into the main
You've done the
world.
trials and
I've done
everything?
the trials, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I wanted to hold off playing it until I finished the Surge. So far, I've been struggling a bit to keep my interest in it. And I think
In a post-Zelda world.
in a post-Zelda world, but not even that, the characters are so fucking boring. I really struggle giving a shit about any of the characters. I really love the world. Like, I love that part.
You're just like moving away from the mic.
Yeah, sorry, let me get back to the mic a bit. And I like the exploring part, and the part I'm at now is where I'm just out exploring.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it more now, but I was kind of struggling early on, just talking to
What a hot take.
Whitey McBoring face.
Hot take. Speaking of games that were really bad, Illusoria I played,
Yes.
which is just it's a relatively nice looking 2D platformer. The problem here, and it's what I don't know why I bring them up all the time. Just like why not? Let's do it. It has very nice animation, but it controls a little bit like old Prince of Persia in that you give it a instruction and then it does the instruction.
So it sounds good.
No,
okay.
Because they also don't necessarily make sense.
Okay.
So, for instance, you can't roll off a ledge and actually take that momentum forward. You'll just fall off.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all very basically, and it's got worse response than original Prince of Persia. So it's like you're playing in just like there's just a huge delay on every action, which is a pity because the actual art is quite nice. But other than that, it just seems like I couldn't get very far in it because the controls were bad and it just seemed like a bog standard platformer. One of the very first things you do in the game is you have to push a crate. And there's a thing there that's probably an enemy, but I'm not sure. It's like a flower thing that's hanging down. I'm like, well, I pushed a crate over here to jump up, but I'm going to jump into that thing first, see what it does. Oh, it kills me. Oh, it spawns me back in the last screen. I just got to slowly push that crate against the screen again. Okay, let's do it again. Next screen, go. Okay, keep going. Some spikes. Oh no, I can't do a jump like that because of the weird animation system. Okay. Oh, you spawn me back before that crate again, hey? How many times I got to push this fucking slow-moving crate? They're like, this is the beginning of the game. It's like it seems like something that shouldn't matter, but when people are experimenting and trying to find how the game works, don't make them push a slow crate over and
All right,
over
but real
again.
quick, which is the better crate pushing game, this or Uncharted 4?
I don't know. Uncharted 4 is dog shit. No, it's not. Uncharted 4 is fine.
It's a
but
great
there's
movie.
way too much crate pushing. James. Now, notice that it's just between James and I. There's no Jeremy.
Yeah. Can I hot take on Breakable Kimmy Schmidt season 3?
Yeah,
Fucking amazing.
it's pretty good. I liked
Except
it.
I remember I got really annoyed during season 2 because like I don't think Ellie Kemper's ever won an award for that show, and she's fucking incredible.
She's pretty good.
She's fucking amazing, man.
If you like her so much, why don't you marry her?
I would. If you want to reply to my emails.
It's fair enough. You are a creep.
You got the restraining order response.
For some reason, you were playing Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, was that a mistake? Did you click the wrong icon on your computer?
No, there's the Morrowind expansion came out. It's like this is their biggest bit. This is their first kind of full-fledged.
Have they got
expansion.
those weird walker things?
They do.
Good.
Yeah. So this was the first time I've jumped back into it since the Elder Scrolls. Where they like, opened up the world. One Tamriel. Update.
Of course, I remember that.
Yeah. Where they got rid of all level. It's all about horizontal expansion. So it's all about just getting new skills. You can go to any area. You can group with anyone. Like they've just opened the whole thing up, which they should have done from the start. And this is the first set of content they've done where they've really been able to kind of run with that scale, like flatten everything out. So far, I've been playing it with Cheryl. She's in kind of the base game. I'm in the expansion, but because of the flexibility, we can kind of jump between, and it just kind of works. And been really enjoying it so far. I think they're getting to kind of take advantage of the new things they've added with the thief system and the assassin system and all that kind of stuff. So get like go and pickpocket people to get through quests, or have to sneak in and burgle houses and pick locks and things like that. It's enjoying it.
That's a mistake on your part.
No,
No, it's fine. I've never played it. I can't
Morrowind
actually.
alone.
No,
Yeah,
no. Elder
it's-
Scrolls Online.
You give
I'm
Elder
picking.
Scrolls Online alone.
I pick on Morrowind for different reasons.
It's a good
but I
MMO.
It wasn't.
It still suffers the one problem though.
It's an MMO.
Most of the time, I don't want other people there. I jump into like the shared dungeons, and there's someone running ahead of me with more skills and killing everyone. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to log off until you go away.
Vanquish came out.
Yep.
It's still the game that I love with one major problem.
What's that?
Damage modeling is tied to frame rate, and if you're running it at a high frame rate, you actually take more damage. But they released a patch today.
Yeah, I know why that happens. I know it happens more on console than it does on like PC games.
Wait, why does it happen?
Because when you're on PC, you have to design the game to run on a multitude of different things, right? Like you're gonna have fast computers, slow computers, and it's actually the common practice is that there's this thing called delta time.
Yes, we know delta time.
And you multiply a number.
We totally know delta time.
Delta time is the time between frames.
Okay.
And so you can say, well, if I'm going to do 10 damage a second, I can go plus 10 times delta time, and then it doesn't matter the frame rate. You will always do 10 damage over a second.
Yep.
The common practice. But when you're dealing with console games, you tend to be able to just say, oh, we're running at 30.
Oh, okay.
And so you can just go, look, we know this thing's going to run at 30 frames a second, so we can just multiply that as a number. If suddenly you're doubling it, and the same thing happened with Dark Souls.
Vanquish, you can more than double it.
Yeah. Suddenly you start scaling everything with thing. It's funny because it's like a throwback to the old PC days when you load up like an old PC game and it's CPU bound. And so like it'll run stupid fast.
PCs used to have a turbo button, which actually halved your clock speed. Because
you actually might want to slow your computer down because certain things would be designed for. So it's actually kind of a throwback to that. And so that's kind of how that stuff ends up coming about.
So other than that, it's a really, really good port, and that bit's pretty much fixed.
Okay,
there's actually a few little bugs with the patch in that you might actually take slightly less damage now, but I'm fine with that. There were a few scenes where I'm like, why doesn't one just dash across this one area, die instantly? It's like, oh, I was running too well on my machine. But yeah, it's other than that, it looks cool. It's Vanquish, and playing Vanquish with mouse. See, it's kind of funny. Whilst you take more damage, you're also just much better at the game because you got a mouse. So it actually almost balances out. Yeah. It's a fucking cool game. Okay.
Hey, talking about Elder Scrolls Online, remind me. Can we shit on Creations of Ashes of Creation, whatever it was again?
I have no idea what that is.
It's that Kickstarter MMO I brought up a couple of weeks ago because I couldn't remember it.
You know how many Kickstarter MMOs there are?
Yeah. This one's special because like the guy who's like at the head of it,
is a fraud?
Made his money in multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
You should see one of the old ones was a guy that had won the lotto and was making a dragon MMO. It's fantastic.
The great thing is
full science-based sex dragon MMO.
I think so. It's pretty good.
Anyway, there's a bit of an uproar because we think I'm part of it. People think that a lot of the money that was donated quite early on is quite dodgy. That like a company would come with a lot of money and suddenly they're a really popular Kickstarter, but then they're not so popular a little while after. And so like there's a thing going on, and I don't know. I you never want to see someone fail, but I want this game to fail. I'm taking out all my vindictive energy on this one Kickstarter MMO.
There are plenty of times that I want to see people fail.
Yeah, heaps of times. Yeah, just like
it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Vindictively watching people fail.
It's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna stop hot takes for now. We're done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk about the Sexy Brutale, which I finally played through.
There's vitamin C in orange jelly beans.
No,
I think there is. I think you're wrong about that.
If you could chew a little bit further away from the microphone, that would be great, Jeremy. So anyway, the Sexy Brutale, which has been out for a little while now. I finally got a chance to actually play it through. Okay.
I don't know if it's got vitamin C in it.
But I said it confidently enough that it sounds like I do.
So the Sexy Brutale is a puzzle adventure game where you are a guest at a hotel.
Which you played at PAX?
I played it at PAX and the demo was bugged and I kept fixing up the kiosk for the devs and I emailed them and said, hey, you guys know this demo is bugged, right? And they're like, yes, sorry about that. But it was fine. It was really hard to demo because it would... If you played the tutorial to explain what the game was, it would crash and you could never play the actual game. So I was just kept resetting it when people walked past and everything. But it's interesting anyway. You are a guest at a hotel where the staff are murdering all the guests. And you basically start murdered as well. and you've got a special mask on, and the game is about rescuing and stopping everyone from being murdered because you have a magic stopwatch which lets you go back in time and relive the day over and over again.
Based on true events at Trump Towers.
It is. So once you do the little base area where it teaches mechanics, you sort of open up the mansion to you, and you can explore the whole mansion, and you encounter each of these characters. You save them, but not permanently. You just save them once, and you get whatever their bonus is, and then the day keeps repeating, and they keep getting murdered over and over again.
Oh, okay.
So
So is the real goal here just to get all the powers and then let everyone die?
But to then work out what the overall thing is and like stop what the actual thing going on is. It's a really, really interesting premise. The mansion is like really attractive the way it's designed. It's played in an isometric view, a bit cartoony, fully 3D modeled. And it's sort of very much gated in a Metroidvania style. You've got to get this power to open up the next part of the mansion, go in. Where the game falters is that at no point other than just collecting collectibles do you actually need to explore the mansion. You are sort of gated in each area, saying, oh, now you're in the casino, do the casino part. Can't get to the next part yet. Done that? Okay, get to the next part, do that. You just sort of do each individual part, and the puzzles aren't particularly hard. You normally only have to do one
So
thing.
it's kind of more level, you go from level to level?
Like zone-based.
Zone-based,
It's still an open world. You
Yeah.
can still, and later on you can explore, but there's no real need. It's mainly there's some alternative endings you can get, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And it never done on that promise where I was expecting as I learn about these characters, I sort of, when I was nearing the end of the game, I was like, am I about to start the real game? Because I'm like, even though it was about 8 hours in or something, I was like, well, now that I've finally learned about the entire mansion, about all these people, when do we go like to the next day and everyone's on a different routine and I have to like save everyone in one day, like work out this like clockwork structure where, oh, they go there and then I can push that if I do that and then I'll save them, and never does that happen.
Ends.
It just, well, I mean, it has an ending. And I wasn't a huge fan of the story, but it was all right. But it just never delivers on that promise of what could come out of the complexity of a time travel thing. And it's obviously very paranormal in parts. It's lots of kooky characters and it's very violent, but in a fun way. And I really enjoyed my time with it. I want the Sexy Brutale 2 where they take that idea and then push up the clockwork aspect of it. I mean, clockwork is literally a main motif in the game. You want all these parts to fit together, and at no point do they have to fit together. They're all separate. It's like, oh, that's a bit disappointing.
Just fall a bit flat.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of collectibles, but mainly they're just, oh, you see that thing in a room? No, you can't pick that up until you get someone else's power later in the game. So you just have to go and walk back through all the rooms, which isn't really that exciting of a gameplay thing. There's no puzzle attached to it. Just, it's behind a glass thing. You got to get the thing that breaks the glass. Okay, done. So yeah, still good. I don't want to sound too negative on it. I just thought it failed to explore its premise strongly. That said, it's not like any other game I know.
Yeah. I have to say, speaking of flat endings, like the Surge actually fell a bit flat for me.
Yeah.
And I think part of the problem was I had a pretty crazy build.
Yeah.
And I think it might have broken the game just a touch.
Right.
Yeah, but it's got to allow for that.
Yeah.
It's like if it lets you have a crazy broken build, then it should respond to that.
Yeah. Because
That's why Zelda is so good.
Like, I've told my Fallout 3 story a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I max my speech and just ask the bad guy not to.
Yeah. But that's a valid strategy.
But this one was more like, I really enjoyed the second last boss fight. Especially because there was some good tricks to it, and I had to actually research what to do to get the special tricks.
The Goro to the Shang Tsung.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And then I go to the last boss, and it's like I beat it on the fourth go.
Yeah.
And and it has us respawn right at where the boss is.
Yeah.
So it's not even you have to run through a gauntlet to get to the boss.
I don't know. That sounds terrible to me.
No, but
it's not very soulsy though.
It's not soulsy.
Yeah.
But like the other bosses felt like they made me work.
Yeah,
to do it. And even though there was big gauntlets, that was part of the challenge.
Yeah.
Because I have to learn the run to get there.
Yes.
And this was just like, oh, okay, just again, I win. Like, oh, okay.
And you did win.
I did win.
Did you get your big boy legs? Don't tell me.
No, wait, because you should play it. It's a good game.
I'm never going to play it.
Ah.
I'm going to deliberately never play it.
No, you should play it. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
Along with Astro Attack. Never gonna play it. Never going to play it. Anyway, yeah. So, is there anything else that we really want to jump on today?
Load it up.
Did you guys want to talk about that insult game you were playing?
No, I wasn't. I figured it was a little bit hard to communicate.
Yeah.
We might talk about it next week.
I loaded up Disgaea 5 demo.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
Is it Disgaea 5?
It's Disgaea 5.
But it's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Sounds like a win.
I think by this point, I'm kind of done with Disgaea.
But I always
never
categorized
touched the
you as the
series.
Disgaea guy. But didn't you play one Disgaea and then never get into another one?
Yes.
So you'd never really been the Disgaea guy. You were just for a brief time. The Disgaea guy.
I'm a Disgaea guy like I am a Total War guy. In that I like the idea of these games. And I always think that I should enjoy them. And I always buy them. And I never enjoy
You
them.
always play Total War.
I own about 5 or 6 Total War games.
You don't have the time or patience for
In this
Total
way,
War.
I'm a Guilty Gear guy.
Yeah. No, I think I've got Medieval, Empire, Rome 2, Warhammer. I'm sure I've got.
I probably have that
Empire
many
something.
Total War games just from bundles and stuff.
I've got at least 6 of them, and I've never liked one of them.
Oh well.
I worry
that's
I'm a
on
bit
you.
like that with JRPGs, actually.
I just keep buying them.
Because every now and then I find a JRPG I really resonate with. And I'm like, I like JRPGs now. And because JRPGs seem they always seem the same, if that makes sense. Stronger than a lot of other genres, JRPGs seem a bit more homogenous. But they're not. They're deceptively different because some are bad and some are good.
Some are Chrono Trigger and some are not Chrono Trigger.
Yes, some are I Am Setsuna.
And also, I was going to mention before, there's a new content pack for Genital Jousting out.
Yes, what's
which
in
is
this one?
quite extraordinary. Just lots and lots of new modes. There's a pump mode where you get all big and strong and muscly.
Nice.
And,
And veiny?
you're very veiny, very veiny. And there's After Dark where you just do it in the dark, but you still get the bloop, bloop, and all that. There's a lot of quite a lot of content. The fact that keeps getting more and more stuff in it is actually turning into what was originally an amusing little subject is actually a pretty solid party game, which is cool. Okay, I think that might bring us to the end of today's episode. So thank you for joining us. So this has been 8.5bit. You can catch our website, 8.5bit.com, our Twitter and Facebook. Please like and share anything you like on that. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And if you do, please leave us a review because reviews help us share the love. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Paul.
I've been James.
I've been Jeremy.
I will catch you all later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.